So the question is, should you get a muffler delete on your Hellcat or your ScatPack? And it's a pretty tough question to answer for a person if they've never done it, and you recommend that they don't do it. It's almost like you rob them from the experience of seeing how it is, or trying it out. So I'll tell you from experience, when I got my muffler delete on my Daytona 392 that I had on this channel for 3 years, I think I got that muffler delete after about year 2 of owning that car. And the reason why I got it mainly was because I was missing something. Like I wanted something new. I wanted something different. I wanted to hear something different. And that stock exhaust on 392s sounds incredible. All right, I had people back then that I was doing videos with. They had Hellcats, and they were telling me how incredible my 392 exhaust sounded. So I knew it sounded good, but I just wanted something different. When you're driving a car every day, you kind of want to, a muscle car, you kind of want to hear something slightly different, And so I went with the muffler delete, and I like I said, I did videos on this channel documenting that. And the first thing I can remember after driving that car for 2 years, when I got a muffler delete, I got on the accelerator after the muffler delete, and it didn't feel as sharp. I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if it was just me, if it was something mental, but I just felt like the car was not as razor sharp when I got on the accelerator. It was like, and I get it now, because when you get a muffler delete, you're releasing more air out of the exhaust. All right, more air is being released out of the exhaust. That's why it sounds louder. So it's almost like when you knock the air out of someone, it was almost like the air was released out of the car. It was like, it wasn't that built up pressure, that sharp, razor sharp acceleration that I got slightly before. So like I said, that slight acceleration that I would get before the muffler delete. But I know for a fact I felt this. I don't know if someone else can relate to what I'm saying, but I know the difference in the acceleration. And yes, there's videos, and I've done videos on this channel. A muffler delete does not result into power loss, but I don't know. I felt something different. It did not feel as sharp. When I would get on the accelerator, it seemed like it was like not necessarily a lag, but it felt like it felt a little sluggish. And maybe it just took me a while to kind of get used to it, and that kind of went away. But I remember the initial feel that I could tell was different. All right. The second thing is I was getting these little tin can little noises, like these little metal shaving noises. All right, I talk about it in that video. I'll put a card up if you have not seen that video, and you can kind of hear it in that video that I did years ago. But I was getting some kind of weird noise that turned me off. So number one thing was the loss of pressure that I felt that I got with the acceleration. Number two, the metal shaving sound, and just how that would sound as I'm driving. It was just weird just hearing it. Some people in the comments, gave explanations on what they thought it was. I don't know who was right or who was wrong, but these are my experiences. Like I said, it can be different for you. But I remember having those two things that I did not like. What I did like, what I loved about it, is how loud it was. Yes, it was super loud, but not excessively loud. It was like loud to the point to where it was like something different. It was a difference from the exhaust that I had just from stock. It was a different experience. So, I liked how it sounded. I liked the fact that you could be in lower RPMs, cruising at lower speeds, and you could still kind of hear it a little bit more aggressive. But, I said to myself, when I got this Hellcat, before I got this Hellcat, I said I would never do it again. The reason why is because I didn't want to go through those two things that I didn't like about the 392, the whole loss in the sharpness when you accelerate, and that metal sounding, like annoyance, like of just whatever it was. It sounded like metal in like a tin can, like I don't know what it was. It was just weird. I didn't want to go back through that. And three, I didn't want to overpower the sound of my supercharger, because I knew I loved how a supercharger sounded on a Hellcat, and I did not want to lose that with a muffler delete, overpowering it with that loudness of the muffler delete, overpowering the supercharger whine. So I was kind of over it. I knew for a fact I wasn't going to do it on this car. And I knew with this car, with it being a Daytona 392, a limited edition Daytona, I wanted to put the best of the best on this car. I knew eventually I was going to, if I did change my stock exhaust, I would go full-blown exhaust, like Corsa Extreme Catback exhaust. I wasn't going to take any shortcuts, cheap routes, and do the muffler delete like how I did on a Daytona 392. So I already knew going in, I had already got it out of my system. You know, I experienced it, and I knew for a fact I wasn't going to do it on this car. And I said that early on. People that have been subscribed to me for years, that have really watched my videos and really listened to the things that I've said over the years, know this for a fact. I said it for years. So once I got this car and drove it, here we are 4 years, coming up on 5 years in January. I'm at that point right now where I want to hear something different. And I want to hear something slightly more aggressive. So what I did was I got a Corsa Performance air intake that I changed from the stock airbox, made the supercharger a lot louder, and now I'm probably going to be going to a Corsa catback exhaust, full exhaust, which is louder than stock, but it doesn't overpower the supercharger, so it's not as loud as a muffler delete. So that's what I'm doing with this car. And then I will be going, I'm trying to go to Hennessy here in Texas and I'm thinking about getting that H1000, because I want to be taking this car on tracking events here in Texas now that I'm here, and some closed courses that I know about that I can't really talk about. I want to be taking this car out there and doing some videos. So is a muffler delete overrated? I wouldn't say that it is. It does have some pros and cons. From my experiences, those are the two things that I didn't like. You may not even have to deal with that. So you got to just roll the dice. You got to try it out, see how you like it, see if it's worth doing. You can always revert back, get them to shave off the straight pipes and weld back on your mid mufflers. So you can always do that. So it's not like once you do it, that's just it, like you're stuck with it. But you know, hopefully that helped. People have asked me, you know, one of my new subscribers reached out to me and he was asking me, should he do it? And it's all preference. You know, everybody's experience could be different. Some people say, oh, I couldn't deal with the drone. I didn't really have that issue. I didn't really hear any drone in my cabin when I had that Daytona 392. Thank God. But I did hear the metal sounds, whatever that was, and I was feeling like the car was a little airless. It was like exhausted from pressure, which is technically what it is. And the car did not accelerate as aggressive as it did before. But you know, like I said, you gotta do it, see how you like it, make a decision. You know, is it overrated? In the comments down below. If you got a muffler delete, you have one right now, how do you feel about it? Did you go back to stock? You know, do you want to do a muffler delete? Do you know about things that you regret about doing it? I'm curious to know. In the comment section, let me know on your Charger, ScatPack, or Hellcat, did you do it and do you regret it? So that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.